Hello, this is Mark Satterfield, and welcome to the Velvet Rope Playbook. Tonight's chapter, Silent Persuasion. Let a story do the selling. There's a guy in Sonoma named Barrett Shaw. If you know him, it's probably through someone wealthy, discreet, and obsessive about detail. He designs wine labels, but not like you think. There's no agency, no website, no packages. Barrett doesn't talk about design principles or ROI. He doesn't mention how many awards his clients have won. He never even says what he charges. But his labels show up in private cellars in Gstaad, on the yachts moored off Portofino, in the hands of clients who don't even drink, but want a bottle that tells a story. And that's what Barrett sells. Not wine labels, not brand identity. He sells emotion wrapped in narrative. One of his labels was designed for a family in Santa Barbara whose matriarch survived World War II hiding in a Belgian monastery. Barrett embedded a subtle floral motif into the paper based on the hand-carved railing of the orphanage stairwell where she slept. He never said, "This will differentiate your product." He said, "This matters to her, so it matters to us." And that's how Barrett closes deals. No pitch, no pressure, just a story. A quick break. If you're in the business of attracting high-end clients and you want to close more deals without chasing, pitching, or posturing, go to getwealthyclients.com and get your copy of my Amazon #1 best-selling book, The Velvet Rope Story Selling. Inside, I'll show you exactly how to use stories, not stats, to lead the conversation, build trust, and position yourself as the only real choice. That's getwealthyclients.com. So let me tell you a story about a different industry. There's a woman in Miami, Dominique Suarez. She runs a firm that connects early-stage founders with family office capital. She used to go into every meeting armed like a Navy SEAL. Decks, data, projections, glossy reports. Her opening line was always, "We've raised over $300 million in the last 24 months. Impressive, but cold. And her conversion rate? Then one day, she flipped the script. She told a story instead. "I had a founder last year who was 3 weeks from shutting down. Had a product the market didn't understand. But we found him a family office that was less interested in the tech and more interested in the way he took care of his team during COVID. They invested not because of the market size, but because of the man." That story didn't include a single number, but it did generate 3 follow-up meetings, 2 soft commitments, and 1 wired investment within 6 weeks. Because story bypasses resistance. It makes the client feel while you matter, before you even explain how. So here's something most people never learn. When you lead with logic, you make people think. When you lead with a story, you make them feel. And feelings close deals faster than facts. Now, this doesn't mean that you're manipulative. It means you're human. Affluent clients don't need more information. They need something they can trust and feel good about. That's what a story gives them. Permission to say yes without feeling like they're being sold. And if you're ready to stop sounding like every other expert and start closing like the professionals who never have to pitch, well, get your copy of the Velvet Rope Story Selling System at getwealthyclients.com. Inside, you'll get specific story structures for positioning, closing, and elevating your perceived value without ever applying pressure. That's getwealthyclients.com. Let me give you one more example. There's a concierge health consultant in Aspen named Ezra Bright. He works with elite clients who want 24/7 access to care, global medical coverage, and long-term health strategy. His competitors? Well, they pitch diagnostics, analytics, wearable tech, concierge access. Ezra? He tells a story about the client who called him at 1 a.m. from Tokyo. Chest pain, panic attack, didn't want to go to the local ER. Ezra had a cardiologist at the client's hotel within 45 minutes. He didn't say we're available 24/7. He said he was eating soba by noon. That's what sells. No pitch, no urgency tricks, just a calm, confident story that says, I'm who you want by your side when it matters. And when that's the message, you don't need to convince. You don't need to ask for the sale. They close themselves. Because it doesn't feel like a transaction. It feels like trust. If you remembered nothing else from this episode, remember this. The most elegant way to sell is to stop selling. Just tell a story worth leaning into. Make it emotional, make it human, make it rich with detail, and then let it breathe. Let it work on them. Let it linger. Because when story is done right, the close feels like a foregone conclusion, and that's the game you want to play. This is Mark Satterfield. Thanks for listening to this chapter of the Velvet Rope Playbook. I'll be back at you soon with something new, but until then, bye for now.